Hello and welcome to day 16 of Lifebook's 30-day transformational challenge. So happy to have you here with me today. Yesterday we began our exploration of the parenting category, and today we're going to go a little bit deeper into this fascinating category. And just for the record, I think that this video is going to rock your world whether or not you have kids. So if you're not a parent, please watch this video anyway, because I think you're going to get a lot out of it personally. You know, a number of times over the years, Miss and I have been asked, what is the single most important thing that you can teach your children? Now, of course, parenting is a highly personal topic. So the answer to that question depends on a lot of things. Depends on your overall sense of life, your personal philosophy, your personal parenting style. But speaking for Missy and me, and only for Missy and me, our goal as parents is to raise independent, happy, healthy, courageous children. Those are the 4 traits that we've identified as the most important to navigating life successfully. Independent, happy, healthy, courageous children. And if we were asked to choose between those traits, to choose the most important one to us, it would be independence. We believe that independence is the primary virtue that we can instill in our children. Because if being a successful parent is about anything, it's about making sure that your kids can function in your absence, that they can function successfully without you. That's your big mission. And by the way, that doesn't just apply to humans, it applies to all creatures, whether you're a duck or a deer or basically any organism on this earth. Parenting is a race to get your kids ready for life before something eats them, right? Or before they fly the coop, or before they go out there into the world and forge their own path. As parents, we got to help them become autonomous. That's our number one job, to get them to the point where they can function successfully in our absence, and the sooner the better. Now, I'll tell you, as a parent of 4 kids, this is sometimes emotionally hard to face because we don't want to let go. No parent does. We worry about our kids. It's difficult to have to give them a little more freedom every single year, to let them make their own choices, to let them make their own mistakes, and to constantly be resisting the temptation to jump in and solve all their problems for them. But at the end of the day, from a cosmic perspective, our primary role as parents is to make sure that our children possess the competence to cope with the challenges of life when we're not there to guide them. So we've got to help them become self-sufficient. We've got to equip them with the skills and the tools they need to navigate their own life in the way they see fit, to develop a sense of efficacy, and to learn to trust themselves to make good decisions for their own lives. That's our most important job. So back to the original question. If our most important job is to help them become autonomous, then what's the single most important thing that we can teach our children? Well, the answer is something that every single human being on this planet needs to know, whether they're a parent or not, and something that the vast majority of people don't even get, children and adults alike. It's a simple but profound concept, and here it is. You are the author of your own life. You are the author of your own life. You have the freedom in life to make your own decisions and your own choices, and the life you're going to get is going to be a result of those decisions and those choices, period. Simply stated, your life is a result of your daily choices and actions. What you do with the minutes and the hours and the days of your life dictates who you are and what kind of a life you have. That's the most important thing that we can teach our kids. It's not complicated, it's simple, and trust me, kids get it. If you make good choices with your diet and exercise, you're going to be physically healthy, and if you don't, you won't. If you make good choices with your money, you're going to be financially healthy, and if you don't, you won't. If you make the right choices as a friend, you're going to have healthy friendships. If you don't, you won't. Your life is yours. You own it. You choose who to spend time with, and that choice is going to make a big difference in your life. You choose the books you're going to read. You choose the TV shows you're going to watch. You choose the video games you're going to play. You choose the way you treat people. You choose what to focus your time on. I mean, we can't be there to make every one of your decisions for you. You are in control of your own existence. Now, helping our kids become autonomous doesn't mean that we don't put a lot of effort into guiding them, into instilling good values and teaching them right from wrong as we see it. We do. It doesn't mean that we let them run rampant and live without rules and just do whatever they want. They've got a lot of rules. Because in the same way that we want them to understand that they own their lives, we own our lives, and this is our house, and as long as you live in our house, you're going to live by our rules. Period. They get that. Helping our kids learn independence also doesn't mean that we are going to sort of drive them toward adulthood too soon and force the heavy weight of being a grown-up on them, all that responsibility too early. We want to let them be kids. We want to let them enjoy the wonder of childhood. That's a magical time. It never repeats itself. We want them to be carefree. We want them to be silly and happy. It's super important to us. But what it does mean is that we instill in them from a very, very young age, we do not own you. You own yourself. We're just temporarily in charge of you, helping you learn and grow, taking care of you, nurturing you. We're going to do that as long as it takes to get you ready to go out there into the world and someday, create your own extraordinary life for yourself, completely in charge of yourself. And even then, we'll never stop nurturing you because that's a parent's job. But make no mistake about it, kids. Your life is yours. It's not ours. It's up to you to direct your life yourself, consciously, and to shape it in any way you and only you see fit. And ultimately, you can choose to live any way you want to live. You can choose to live anywhere you want to live. You can choose to do anything you want to do. You can choose to be any kind of a person that you decide to be. You can shape your life in any way you want to shape it. Most successful people deeply understand this concept, that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that were no smarter than us. Unsuccessful people don't understand that concept at all. And we want to make absolutely positively sure that our children understand it deeply. I've noticed that highly successful people have what I call a respectful disregard when it comes to the way that just about anyone does anything. A respectful disregard. Not to be confused with being disrespectful to other points of view or other ways of doing things. Successful people can appreciate immensely the contributions of others that they're surrounded by and the huge value that people who came before them have created, but when it comes to the way they do things, or the way they approach their industry, or the rules they live by, they are the ones who make it up as they go along, as opposed to just blindly accepting someone else's model. They look at pretty much anything in life, whatever it may be, and they decide, does this work for me, or does this not work for me? The answer might be, yeah, that's awesome. I love that idea. I love that strategy. I love that best practice. I love that way of doing things. That makes perfect sense to me, so I'm going to adopt that in my own life. Or the answer might be, makes no friggin' sense to me at all. I'm not doing it. I don't care if everybody else does it that way. It doesn't work for me, so I'm going to figure out a better way for me. That is the independent, autonomous mindset. It's also the success mindset. I'm going to give you a concrete example of this. Missy and I live in a different part of the world with our kids for 4 to 5 months every winter. We take them out of public school, and we will go live in Southeast Asia or the Middle East or Africa. This lifestyle is obviously not the norm. Most people can't even conceive of doing such a thing. It's downright scandalous to some people. We don't care. We don't need anyone's permission. We don't recognize anyone's right to stop us or slow us down. This is how we choose to live our lives. We know it's different, but it makes complete sense to us. Our kids have experienced the jungles of Laos on the Mekong River in an old longtail boat. They've lived in the shadows of the Great Pyramids. They've taken a bath in a bucket in Thailand. They've fallen asleep to the twinkling lights of the Eiffel Tower and wandered around the ancient ruins of Greece. They've experienced deeply Christian and Hindu and Buddhist and Muslim cultures. Sometimes they get a little bit behind on their normal schoolwork like math or reading, but they can tell you the name of the royal family of Thailand. They know how to haggle at night markets and how to count to 100 in Indonesia. They can show you where Sri Lanka is on a map because they live there. Now, we know that living this way is not for everyone, but it's the life we choose to live, and we love it. Now, whenever this subject comes up in conversation, like at a dinner party, we get the most astonished looks from other parents. It's hilarious. They're simply dumbfounded, like we've pulled off the most difficult feat imaginable, like we've invented penicillin or something. And it's always like, how can you do that? You know, we could never do that. Our school won't even allow us to take an extra 2-week vacation. And I just think to myself in my mind, hold on a second, you know, won't allow? We're talking about your kids here. When did public school become some sort of an absolute? When did it become a problem for grown adults to take their kids where they want, when they want? Nothing's more important to us as parents than our children. When did we give up control? When did we give other people control of our kids? Well, that's just one example of thousands of examples of how we let other people's rules stop us on a daily basis, how we accept other people's values without even questioning it, how we let what everyone else does take over our lives and dictate the direction that our lives will go. I'll tell you how we do it. I'll tell you how we take our kids out of public school for 5 months out of the year. Missy walks into the principal's office and she says, this winter, we're going to live in Southeast Asia for 5 months. So what would you suggest is the best way to handle the homework situation? She's not aggressive, she's not argumentative or pushy. It's just simply matter of fact, this is what we've decided to do, this is where we're going, and the discussion isn't around whether or not we're going to do it. What we're going to do is a given. We don't need to ask permission from anyone. We don't recognize anyone's right to stop us from doing what we want to do. The discussion is around how we're going to work together to get it done. And you know what? Over the years, we've learned something amazing, something very interesting that happens to people who come at life just radiating the confidence that they are in total control of their own existence, which is what we want for our kids. People are so not used to seeing healthy, independent, self-directed behavior from other human beings that they will naturally move out of your way and leave you to accomplish your goals. It's the truth. In a world where most people are sleepwalking through their existence, simply going through the motions of life like they're in a trance, letting other people write their story, it's so rare to see someone who knows exactly who they are, exactly what they want, and why, that not only will they move aside for you and let you pass to live your life the way that you see fit, sometimes they actually get enlisted in the cause and they help you because it's refreshing to see an independent, autonomous person in this world. It's inspiring because it's rare. Ralph Waldo Emerson, this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. He said it almost 150 years ago. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life that he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. So, what is the most important thing that Missy and I want to teach our kids? It's probably the most important thing that any of us can understand, young or old. Kids, your life is important, and you are the author of your life. No one else, including your mother and me. You are in control of how your life unfolds, no one else. And the way you exercise that control is through your daily choices and actions. So become the best decision maker that you can possibly be. Not for us, but for you. Why? So that your life will unfold the way you want it to unfold. Be your own person. Create your own life in your own way. Believe in yourself, like we believe in you. Trust yourself. Learn to rely on your own intelligence as your only guide to truth. If you discover who you are and what you want out of life, if if you nurture the best that's inside of you and develop yourself, really work to develop yourself, and then have the courage to stand up for your true self and be who you are, advancing confidently in the direction of your dreams, endeavoring to live the life that you've imagined, I promise you, you're going to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Okay, now let's get on to our exercise for the parenting category. And by the way, this one's been designed for everyone, whether you're a parent or not. Take out your journal, and what I'd like you to do is choose 3 to 4 core values that you want to live your life by. This is a hugely powerful exercise. It changed our lives to do this. Write down 3 to 4 core values and define what those values mean to you. Might be kindness, courage, self-responsibility, respect, whatever values are most important to you. And just write a few sentences for each of the values you choose. Then next, I'd like you to start thinking about how you can bring these values to life, how you can start taking action on these values today. You want to start living your life by these values and start to make small daily shifts in their direction. And if you have children, you can then begin to instill these values into your children and really lead by example. Tomorrow, we're going to explore another very fascinating category, your social life. Now, at some point in our lives, most of us have heard the advice, choose your friends very wisely. And at some level, we definitely know that's true, but it may be more important than most of us realize. Matter of fact, to some of us, this is the most important category of all. Huge breakthroughs can happen here. So tomorrow is going to be an exciting and enlightening day. Until then, keep up the great work, do your parenting exercise, and I'll see you tomorrow as we explore your social life.